But right now we're going to pop over to Markey Insurance and have a chat with Steve Markey. Good afternoon, Steve.
Afternoon, Julian. How are you?
I'm very well. Yourself?
Good, thank you.
You said you were excited today, so we've got an interesting subject of journey insurance.
Oh, absolutely.
We've spoken a lot about insurance topics over the few weeks and particularly focused on assets and liabilities. But what about insuring our employees? Can you give our business listeners some insight into what they should be thinking about here?
Yeah, sure, Julian. Thank you. I thought over the next two information sessions we'll focus on this subject, and today I'll talk about what is known as journey insurance and why businesses and people should consider this type of policy. And maybe next session definitely next session we'll have one of our experts in workers' compensation discuss the critical parts of this legislated archaic insurance, which everyone has a passionate dislike for, and in particular we might enlighten our business listeners on what the most recent changes to the legislation involve, what effect it can have on the business and their employees.
Certainly sounds good, and we'll look at that next fortnight on workers' comp. But what about journey insurance? What does it entail?
Julian, journey insurance, it's a cover which has been in existence for many years, but really has only come to the fore in New South Wales since 2012. It's much more relevant since the date, like June 2012, because the government changed the workers' compensation rules. And unfortunately it changed to, this is an important part, exclude cover for employees where injured whilst travelling to and from their workplace. So journey insurance is designed to put some basic cover back in place for these journeys should someone be injured.
Yes, that change still creates a lot of confusion with people, doesn't it? So what do you mean by a journey?
Yeah, well, that's a really good question because it's critical to understand what definitions are in insurance, and this one in particular. So in order to understand the cover, so with the exception of paramedics and firefighters who were successfully exempt from these law changes, all workers who are injured while travelling between their home and place of employment would only be entitled to workers' compensation if there is this one is a bit intense, but real and substantial connection between the employment and the accident or incident out of which the personal injury arose. So there's lots of words there, it's a bit hard to take in. So the best way is probably to have a look at an example. So if I drive directly to work from home, as I do every day, and have an accident on the way and I'm injured, then workers' compensation will not activate. Okay, same as if I'm driving straight home, won't activate. But if I drive to a work site, like if I go up to the Hunter Valley to visit a client directly from home, and I don't go to the office first, and I have an accident, then the workers' compensation does still provide that journey cover. Okay. A little bit of a trick here is, like if I go down the road for lunch and buy a pie, like nothing to do with my employment, and I have an accident, then once again workers' compensation won't kick in. So you see, the journey must be work-related in order for the workers' compensation to respond.
Okay.
So there's a hole that's been created. So sometimes it's very complicated as to whether it's a journey or not, and that's what keeps the courts busy, and they will no doubt hear many cases on determining whether it was a journey or not.
Okay, so insurers, how can journey insurance assist them?
Well, insurers have specifically designed journey accident insurance policy to cover employees whilst travelling to and from work, and also for activities undertaken during meal breaks. So, and also, to be fair and realistic, most insurers, when they've built their policies, have journey including any minor deviations or interruptions on these journeys, which don't actually increase the risk of bodily injury that would have normally arisen had they travelled directly home or to the office. Okay, so there's a little bit of flexibility in there. But the policy helps protect organisations from financial loss as a result of employee downtime resulting from a journey injury, which was once covered under work cover. So a business can pay the injured employee and seek financial recovery from this policy.
Okay, so it can cover the reimbursing of wages. Is there anything else it covers?
Yeah, although it's a fairly basic policy, and the wages being the main one, but it's kind of a little like a personal accident and illness policy as well. So it can cover benefit for death and disablement. It can also have benefits in there for return to work assistance. Handy one, replacement staff and recruitment costs, corporate image, and maybe some funeral expenses. So it's got a few other things in there.
So as with all insurance, are there any pitfalls to look out for?
Oh, there's a couple in here. Like remember, this covers not as comprehensive as workers' compensation. It's quite a basic policy, but some of the things to watch for are the maximum benefit period you might get under these policies is about 2 years.
Okay.
You've got to watch age limits. Some of them might be like stop at 65. Some might go to higher.
Okay.
And the benefits are limited and vary depending on what your employer is prepared to pay for. So you can pick higher limits and lower limits. It depends on your employer as to what they want to buy.
So read the fine print is the question, I would
Well,
think.
read the fine print and talk to your employer if one's in place. But it was a sneaky move, and when these journey claims were taken out, so this is just a way of trying to provide cover for employers that want to look after the employees.
So it leads to an important question: is it expensive insurance?
No, it's not expensive. It's easy to buy, and the average premium per employee may be between $20 and $35 a year. It just depends on how many employees you might have, and it can depend on your claims experience in relation to journey claims as well. So when they used to be covered under workers' compensation. So no, it's not expensive. It's easy to buy, and it's actually a nice little add-on and benefit for your business.
Would it be based on the type of business you do, or the distance that employees have to travel?
No, they don't necessarily do that. It's really it's not that analytical. It's really number of
accidents,
just number of people and claims experience. So yeah.
Great. Well, thanks for your time, and in a couple of weeks we'll talk with your workers' comp expert, which will be really exciting.
Okay. Thanks again, Julian.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.
Steve Markey there from Markey Insurance, just getting a handle around that journey insurance. It has confused quite a few businesses in the time, and obviously worth talking to your broker if you're in any